guys? So, welcome to my new kind of rebirth of the Skyrim Sundays videos that I was doing. I was having some meshing issues and stuff like that with my last one, and you will find a couple of areas here that I've found that there's still a little bit of meshing issues, but it's few and far between now, whereas before it was getting to the point where it was just overdoing everything. I have added a couple of different mods, and I'll kind of get into those in more detail as we come across features that come from those mods. The main thing that I'm going to add is this is from the Live Another Life, and it gives you all sorts of different options and things like that. Right now I'm in this jail cell, but I've chosen to randomly start me as a patron at an inn, and the reason why is because I feel like that works better with the Requiem mod that I'm using. And Requiem basically overhauls the entire RPG thing, and that changes like everything from some of the perk trees, some of the areas that you can put skills into. It changes what your carry weight is based on your race, based on your sex, based on your specialty, all of that stuff. And the reason why I chose to randomly start it at an inn is because with Requiem, it levels you up as if you were playing a traditional RPG. So enemies don't level with your character. They're static at points, and so that means when you first start, you're not going to be able just to run into a dungeon and just attack anything and overpower it. You're going to have to work your way up. And especially the reason why, again, why I picked the inn is I'll read the journal entry to you, but more or less what happens is you decide after basically wasting your time being a drunk and just going from inn to inn to inn that you decide you want to be an adventurer. And in a case like that, you're not going to start out just being able to go in and fight draugrs and fight bandits and things like that. You're going to have to work your way up, build your reputation, and go from there. I will be doing this completely immersive in a sense of, even if it was possible, I wouldn't be fast traveling. But with Requiem, you can't fast travel, and it also changes the prices of things. So instead of being able to stay the night somewhere where you're just being able to stay there for 10 gold, you're actually going to have to pay, I think it's 50 septims. And they do refer to your gold as septims, things like that. You have to carry a backpack in order to carry extra weight. And there's just a lot more things that are added that, like I said, I will get to as we get into it. But for right now, this is Majad, and he is the beginning character that we're going to start out with. And we're going to go over to the bed over here. We're going to start a fresh new life in a random inn, in a random hold, and we're going to go from there. And I will guarantee you there's going to be a lot of times that I end up dying and stuff like that. And when that happens, I'm going to try to edit that out as much as possible to not break immersion. But I guarantee you it happens a lot because of this Requiem mod. Anyways, let's go over, let's start a new life, let's find out what inn we're at, and let's build from there, alright? Alright, this is just the beginning of the Requiem, where it basically installs and changes all of the skill trees, all of that into what I was saying earlier, so give it just a moment. We'll work through that, and then we'll get playing. This is another mod, Sounds of Skyrim, the Wilds version. This changes all sorts of stuff in the outside to where you hear rain falling, you hear bugs chirping, you hear birds, singing, you hear bees flying by, flies, stuff like that. It just makes it a lot more immersive if you're actually out in the wild, things that you're going to hear.
Come on in, just stoke the fire.
Alright, this one is the Dungeons version. This is also things where you're actually going to be able to hear in the distance when there's other people in the dungeons. You're going to hear creaking. You're going to hear, like, echoing a lot more, again, immersive sounds that you wouldn't generally hear in the vanilla version.
Take a seat and get the cold out.
Alright, now Requiem's finished installed. And just to give you guys a quick overview of what we're looking at, this is what Majad looks like now, and depending on which choice you choose on where you want to restart, that chooses what you're wearing, what you're carrying, and stuff like that. So for this one, since you are a patron at an inn and you're starting from there, you just got boots, you got a little bit of food, you got clothes, you got your actual coin purse, which does add weight, and then, like I said, a little bit of food. a Helgen Reborn guide, which we'll get into that at some point, where you can actually help rebuild Helgen from the ground up. And that's actually a mod called Helgen Reborn. Down below, I'm going to include a list of mods. I'm not going to have links to them or anything, because sometimes that kind of affects your visibility on YouTube and on Facebook by including links. And so I'm going to try to limit that as much as possible. And then carrying a steel war axe. So as you see, I don't have a bow, I don't have arrows, I don't have, armor or anything. I'm literally just some random guy that's been chilling in an inn that decides one day he wants to be an adventurer. Also, another thing that's important to note from that is that I don't have any magic spells. You don't just start out knowing magic, and that's something that you have to work with as well if that's the direction that you're wanting to go. All right, another thing I wanted to point out here, it's a little minor thing that I added, but it's the book covers of Skyrim, and it actually changes the books to where you can walk up on them and they actually look like actual books. They don't all blend in and appear the same. They all have different appearances, and it's just a nice little graphical overhaul that, even though minor, I think added a bunch of stuff to it. All right, actually, before we leave this room, because a lot of this first video, honestly, is just going to be me going over some of the changes so you know what to expect. And so I wanted to go ahead and go over the skills tree. And all right, so you start out with 3 initial perks that you can increase, because all of these that you see, they're very low level. You don't actually have access to those abilities until you get that initial perk to increase. So this is a good time where you decide in your head what type of character you want to play, what you want to do, and everything, and then you can go ahead and start building. And as you see, you've got your destruction, restoration, alteration, enchanting, smithing, heavy armor, block, two-handed, one-handed. And here's a couple that I wanted to point out. Marksman completely changes a little bit, because it also helps with crossbows, and that's something the vanilla version doesn't really mess with. And the biggest change that I've found so far is that where there's a heavy armor, there's not a light armor anymore. It goes down into evasion. And what evasion is not only light armor, but when you're wearing just regular clothes. That's something that you'll see me in this playthrough. Whenever I go into town, I'll put on clothes instead of wearing armor, stuff like that, just because I want to be completely immersive. But what it does is it makes it to where it's easier to travel in light armor and much more easier to evade attacks while you're wearing light armor. Because if you were choosing in real life between heavy armor and light armor, your light armor would be more for your mobility, and your heavy armor would be to prevent against like piercing and stuff like that. So they've really made a differentiation there, and I think that's really cool. So we're going to put a perk into that, and that's it says here, after some training, you're now much more confident in your evasive movements. Your light armor and clothes will now hinder your movements less, and you take less damage from falling. So in order to activate any sort of skill, you got to go ahead and spend one of your perks. All right, and then as you see, I'm not going to spend any more perks in this for right now, but as you see, like, your skills now are dodge, your initial skill, which is your trained reflexes allow you to dodge incoming blows when wearing no heavy armor. By sprinting a step or two away, you can attempt to dodge hostile attacks. And finesse is your increased damage with all your power attacks, for you're able to hit more precisely. So like I said, this is a lot more about your mobility and a lot more about your effectiveness in combat. I'm not going to read through the rest of them. I just wanted to give you guys a quick idea of what I was talking about. All right. Now, given the fact that I did choose to play as a Khajiit, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of one-handed attacks, sneaking, and evading. I'm going to try to stay away from, the sneak archer. There will be a lot of sneaks, but he's a Khajiit. That's going to happen. But we're going to go ahead and do this. So it says, the basics of moving silently and are harder to detect while sneaking while not wearing any heavy armor. So we're going to put one in there just to start to activate the sneak tree. And the other one that I want to really go for with this build is Alchemy, because I'm not going to be going into magic a lot, so I won't have the restoration spells and things of that nature, so I'm going to need to rely on potions, and most of those are going to be ones that you make yourself. So Alchemy is going to be an important tree to have. Now, if you look at it, the first stage of alchemical lore is you've acquired basic alchemical insights and understand how to work with the laboratory. Thus, you can now craft your own potions and poisons. Now, if you notice here, when you click it, obviously it opens up more. But, see if I can find it real quick. Okay, I think once I back out of the menu, call me crazy, I'm sorry. Once you get to a certain point, what it does for alchemical lore is actually whenever you eat an ingredient, it opens up all of the possibilities of what you're looking at, so then it makes alchemy much easier, but then as you see above, you still have to work through the rest of the tree in order to get all of the skills available. Alright, now let's see. Where are we? I believe we're in Solitude. Let's see. Yep.
Mijad does not trust the Argonians.
You look new. I'm new too. I think we could be friends.
I don't believe we could be friends. I do not trust Argonians.
Positions.
Flora, you need to go home. Go home and stay there until your mother comes.
You betrayed us!
Get on with it!
Alright, so I suppose they're not going to get on with it.
God, you were!
Oh well. Anyways. Alright, so we're in Solitude, so we're going to look around. We're probably going to spend a lot of time just looking at graphical differences and things like that while we get started, just so I can start picking up some ingredients. And as you see, like right there, you see that red triangle? That's one of those kind of meshing issues I was talking about. They are few and far between, and there's a lot of areas of the game where you don't see that at all. But I haven't quite gotten to the bottom of exactly where it is that's causing that or what the problem is, so we'll get to that, and I'll be able to eliminate that whenever the time comes. Otherwise, I just ask you guys to, try and be patient with it. Alright, another thing that Requiem adds that I wanted to bring to you guys' attention, I'll show you. Let me find a plant to pick up. Usually you pick up like a red mountain flower, blue mountain flower, hanging moss, anything like that. You pick up an entire bush and you get like one item. And looks like my batteries are getting ready to die, so I'm running all sorts of crazy directions. But anyways, okay, so like here, harvest thistle. You pick up thistle, usually you get one, and you pick it up now, and you're getting two. Some of these plants, you're getting even more than that. There's one there. They made it to where plants don't occur as often, but when they do, it's a more realistic amount that you're getting. So like say if you pick an entire bush, you're not just going to get one flower, you might get, several flowers out of the deal. And I thought that was kind of a neat little add-in that they added. They didn't really have to, but it did make things a little bit more realistic, a little bit more immersive, and just kind of wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. See, there's another one of those little red triangles. We're just going to ignore them and act like they don't exist from now on.
Fine day, isn't it?
How are things?
Life's not so bad. I'm independently wealthy, though I don't wear it. So it's nice to just be able to wander about and take in the sights of Solitude.
Fair enough. Alright, now, one thing that I added to Skyrim here is I added a complete graphics overhaul that wrapped basically the entire base game in a 2K wrap It was called, let me look here real quick, Skyrim HD 2K Textures. And I know that might be part of the source of where the red triangles are coming from, because I do also have like Flora overhauls and things. And so it's just a matter of going down and looking through the packages and finding out exactly which file overwhelms the other ones. But it does give Skyrim a much nicer, much more high definition look than it usually does. And you will notice, like, as we're walking through this city, it comes across very, very well. I mean, you can still even see the high detail on the roofs and all that, even in the distance. And I think that overall it adds a really good touch that's worth it. Dragonborn Gallery, speaking of which, this is a overhaul. Not only an overhaul, but also adds a ton of missions, a ton of locations and things like that. And you just go up there. I haven't actually done any of those missions, but honestly, until I get to a higher level, I'm not even going to bother to try any, because that's way out of my pay grade as a simple inn dweller.
If you need potions, head over to Angeline's aromatics.
Tag, you're it.
I'm hungry. Can you get some food instead? I'm not playing with you, Kide. You play me.
I will go ahead and give you guys a heads up, give you a fair warning. The first several episodes of this are probably going to be me explaining the mods more than they are anything else. No, thank you. More than anything else. And the reason why is because I am going to have to do a lot of just kind of building up, fighting simple stuff like wolves here and there, little minor stuff, in order to build my skills, because I'm not going to be able just to jump straight into missions without getting just absolutely destroyed. And that's what's going to happen more often than not. So just to give you guys a heads up, that's a lot of what's going to be going on. Hey, what is that? Just looked out of place. All right.
I'm waiting. I used to be an adventurer like you.
Let's see if the animation up front. Yeah, it played out. I'm not sure why it wouldn't trigger a second ago. I don't know what the deal was, but seems like everything's good to go now. I don't know. Let's take some leather straps. We're gonna go over and mess with some alchemy, just to kind of show you guys how the system has changed a little bit. Because you'll notice, especially whenever I start doing, some of the adventuring stuff, you will notice that the potion system is different. Instead of drinking a health potion and it like immediately healing you, you have to wait for a period of time as it slowly heals you, and it's a lot more immersive than just, oh, I took a potion, now I'm magically better. So I just thought that was another cool thing to add, which you will see as it comes to play. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, while I'm doing this, as you see, I've got the Sky UI and all that. I'm going to start doing this, and then I'm just going to edit out the whole part of me basically going through all of this, because I know that you guys have better things to do than just sit there and watch me make potions. So once I'm done with this, I'll see you guys once I exit the menu. Alright, so leaving the alchemy table, just wanted to kind of show you guys a little bit real quick with the potions, what I was talking about. I don't have any restore health potions or anything to fully show you what I meant, but they are laid out a little bit differently than what they were before. They're not worth as much, again, to make it more immersive, but just to kind of give you a heads up what the Sky UI looks like and what we would be looking at. I will have to show you again a little bit further once I get the restore health potions, restore magic, or restore stamina, but just to give you a look at a little bit of a difference. Alright, you know who I'm looking for.
You were there for Rogvir's execution.
Nasty bit of business, Rogvir's execution.
Perhaps, but necessary. My cousin Flora is somewhere out there in Skyrim right now, fighting Ulfric Stormcloak and his damned insurrectionists. She wouldn't have to be there at all if it weren't for Rogvir. And my aunt wouldn't have to worry about her daughter.
Why were they executing him?
You really don't know?
No.
He lets Ulfric Stormcloak escape Solitude. Ulfric rides in, murders the High King, and Myrkvior lets him ride right back out.
How do you take your mind off something like that?
Most people head over to the Winking Skeever. If you're not interested in music or drink, you can at least talk to Corpulus. He can fill you in on any of the latest gossip. People to see and places to go, huh? Later then.
You're a traveler, correct? Have you been to Whiterun?
No, sorry, I haven't been to Whiterun before.
Ah, well, it was a long shot. Ah, so you're an alchemist then. Don't forget me next time you need herbs and potions. It's good to see a fresh face. You wouldn't have happened to come from Whiterun, would you?
You mentioned something about Whiterun before.
My daughter Flora was assigned to Whiterun after she joined the Imperial Army. I was hoping you might have met her. I haven't heard from her lately. I've tried talking to Captain Aldous, but he hasn't been any help.
I haven't met her, but I could try to get you more information.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. Anything you can find out from Captain Aldous would be welcome news. Take care now.
Alright, so we're gonna go find Captain Aldous just to at least say that we accomplished something with this first video. And we'll go from there. I know that's a relatively simple mission, but like I said, these first couple are going to be just me getting established and stuff, so there's not going to be a whole lot I can do. Might as well, you know, do a little bit. Oh yeah, I said I was going to read this to you, so...
Ah, another night, another lost septum, another tankard downed, and more sorrows drowned. Say, that's catchy. Too bad I'm no bard. I could make a fortune. I hope my luck turns soon, because staying at these inns won't last me forever. I think I'll take up adventuring to pass the time. Sure beats the misery that follows getting sloshed every night in some tavern. I don't even remember why I do it anymore. Hello, Captain Aldous. Captain, Angeline sent me to ask about her daughter.
Generally, posting information is need to know only.
I think Angeline needs to know.
I'm sorry. I can't help you.
Well, I'm making it need to know.
If you want to know that bad, then fine. The daughter was sent to Whiterun. The skirmishes there have been violent. The Whiterun legate, he needed to know the Stormcloak positions. He sent out a party to scout the area. They happened upon a large force. I'm told none of them made it back. Private Morard, Angela's daughter, was in that scouting party. She needs to be told.
Well, I mean, you guys are kind of really shitty for not telling her that her daughter died, but different story for a different day. So let's go tell her.
Need something for a potion?
I have.
Certainly in the right place.
I have some news about your daughter.
You got Aldous to tell you something. I knew you would. What did he say?
Angeline, Miss Morard, your daughter, is dead.
I told her. I told her the Imperial Army would kill her. That this was a war of Jarls and Imperial generals, and we had no part in it. She just wouldn't hear it. It was brave of you to come to me with this. I can't thank you for it, not for this. But you have done me a service.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Alright guys, and at that, we're going to close this first episode. like I said, sorry. First episode's not going to be real crazy or anything. Next episode might not be too either, as we're just kind of getting everything established. But wanted to give you guys a heads up of what was going on with why I started a new one, all that, plus a lot of the new changes with a lot of the new mods that I'm doing. And until next time, this is the Amazing Bacon, and I'll talk to you guys later.